Even though I'm getting corrected. Oh no! We're live.
I started you cold.
Let's go. I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way.
Your connection's a little laggy there, buddy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, a little laggy. Little laggy.
Is it an issue with the camera or my audio?
Might be. Whoever did that intro did one hell of a job, Carl. I like
that intro had some glitches to it, man. I hope that is my internet connection at that point.
You're glitchy, buddy. You're not even coming through all the way.
Chat, can you corroborate that?
It's corroborated. Sign it, seal it, deliver it. It's corroborated. What's up, Alex? Is my name-o. Carl's favorite, my man Carla. Uh-oh. We can't say stuff like that. That might bring out the haters for me. Man, look at all the guys in the chat already. 27 in the chat. It's only going to grow because, Carl, what are we talking about today?
I'm seeing a couple corroborated, so if I got to reset, I will. But hopefully you guys can hear me when I say we're going to be talking about the best news publication in regards to the NFL draft, that being The Beast.
What? What is this beast? What is this beast we speak of? Oh, it's pure entertainment. How much we should share? Well, we got to be ethically a little bit correct, right? But man,
Alex says that I sound fine. I don't know, guys. At this point, I mean, what did you have to pay for that, Adam? Was it $2?
It's a subscription, but yeah, it's like $2 a week, but cancel once you get it.
Oh, my video is lagging for sure.
Everything's lagging, dude.
Okay, why don't you roll with the show for a little bit and I'll restart because I have no idea what's going on. But
that sounds fantastic. Get out of here and we'll bring you back in.
Goodbye.
Get out of here, Carl. All right, I got to show you guys some stuff. So, around Bears Twitter, there's always fun stuff to be had. Let's show you guys this one real quick. The Bears just had this out today. If that don't get you hyped, I don't know what's going to get you hyped. Too much excitement going on. We do have the Beast episode up today. We're going to have some fun with this. Those who didn't see my episode yesterday, I'm going to break down parts of the team. There's some fun stuff I want to share. We got to get Carl back in here. Let's check this out. Let's check who's in the chat first. Got Thy Smi, he commented earlier this morning. Jay Brinko, Levante Rogers, Relentless Mikey, Dark to Light, Prometheus, Longhorn Jeff, Bears fan. Alex is my name-o. Bears fan again. Prometheus, blah, blah, blah. You guys are awesome. Ronald Cole, Victor Perez, and Thomas Kozlowski. Man, I butchered your name. Sorry, Thomas Kozlowski. And Various is here. All right, check this one out, too. The Beast episode. What else can you do but add? That's right. I'm going to use that several times throughout this year. Carl's gone. Carl's gone for good. All right, let me share some stuff. So those who didn't see yesterday, shared this with you guys. Defensive line, where the Beast has things ranked. We can go through here. And lots of things to interject from here. Those are the players that the Bears have been scouting, prospecting, looking at that are in the defensive rankings of the Beast episode. Well, tonight I got some fun for you tonight with the defensive ends, and I think you're going to be a little bit surprised at what defensive ends the Bears have been narrowing in on. We have some fun stuff coming up. All right, while Carl's gone, those who don't know what the Beast episode is, or the Beast article, tutorial, whatever it is, 523 pages. Can you see the up top there? I know it's really small. 523 freaking pages. Dane Brugler from The Athletic does this amazing job just breaking everything down here. Let's just jump forward here to a spot. Offensive guard Jalen Rivers. He gives a whole background here. You see this Jacksonville, Florida high school oak leaf, September 12th, 2010. It shows his height, his weight, everything. He's the 9th ranked offensive guard according to Dane Brugler. You can go up here and you can see where he has them all ranked before that. Karl and I are going to get into some of this. Try not to share everything because, you know, there's some integrity involved with it. And you had to purchase this, but here's his rankings. Tyler Booker's number 1. He has Kelvin Banks ranked as a guard. Man, I agree. And man, I've been hard on Kelvin Banks all year. And a lot of you guys are like, no, Kelvin Banks should go at 10 to the Bears. He's a tackle. Womp, 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 womp. Kelvin Banks, number 2 ranked guard. Tate Ratledge, who I've been high on. Jonas Savania. He's got Tate Ratledge going 2nd round. I mean, there's some things in here. This is, and he's very respected. And this is a very respected piece of work that he does. So, Karl, you back?
I hope so. Can you guys hear me? Do I sound okay? Do I look okay?
Your video's still lagging there, buddy.
Is that a Karl problem? I mean, it looks fine on me. It might be my internet connection. I have no idea what's going on.
Karl, oh, you have to text me. I was involved in sharing the beast. My goodness, people. Let's go here again.
Let me try one last thing.
Karl, he's gone. What are we going to do, guys? 7.5 minutes into this thing. Karl's gone already. Mikey, what's up? Bear down. Squeegee, welcome. Bear down. Antmus, bear down. Keith J. Hall, Richard Colby. You guys are filing in. Sorry, this is not the same as when I present a video. We're just going to have to accept the fact that Karl might be a lagger today. Might be a lagger. Gotta get this back on there. There you go. There's the bear down members. Nick Sartini, Carol Montgomery, Longhorn Jeff, Sam L., Wally Bismarck. Here comes Karl back. Karl, man, you look clear there.
All good?
You're lagging again. But you're clear. You're clearer.
Jeez, I can't win.
Hey,
I don't know if it's my fault or not.
You sound good now. You look good.
Camera still looks terrible according to StreamYard, but
yeah, you're lagging.
Wow.
No, your voice is fine though. I don't care what you look like as long as you sound like you can carry a conversation.
No, I don't know. I mean, if your camera's good, mine's not. It might be an issue with my camera. I'm not sure.
Pardon my friend here. He's a little slow.
Apparently.
The town is 2 miles that way. You even know that reference, Karl?
Nope.
Oh. I got you. Alex is my name-o. I got what you're doing. Very end of Dumb and Dumber. Very end of Dumb and Dumber. All right, Karl. We're getting into this. Here's the Beast. Tell us what you know about the Beast, because Karl, I know, is a huge fan of the Beast.
Well, while I'm a big fan, I haven't had a chance to really indulge yet, right? So my eye immediately went to those Michigan boys. 4 Michigan men in the top 25.
So here's the top 100 according to Dane Brugler.
Zoom it in. I feel like that's really hard to see.
Yeah, it's just hard to catch it all in there when you do that.
Can you do a fit?
A fit?
Like a fit to page?
It didn't really do anything.
Interesting. No, you made it full screen, but like the left and right. Get rid of the gray, right?
I'm trying.
I don't know if it's accepting it in StreamYard. Just want to show off the 4 Michigan men in the top 25.
Now I can't even get out of full view.
F11?
Well, you sound like you're a knowledgeable feller here.
Did F11 work?
F11 didn't work.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh, I'm casting something now, though. Uh-oh. Karl, we're in amateur hour. Let's get out of here, and I'm just going to go straight to the webpage. Stop sharing that.
I wonder if there's something going on with StreamYard, because my upload looks fine. So
as long as it's not your fault, right?
I hope not.
That's as good as we're going to get here. All right, so here's your top 100 prospects. This is what Karl wanted to share. You got right here, you got a Michigan boy, Mason Graham, number 4 overall. You got a Michigan boy right here, Colston Loveland. They've got him at number 11 overall.
That's really interesting to see. I mean, I would not think that a tight end or a draft class would have essentially 2 tight ends in the top 10, or in this case, top 11, right?
Yeah,
that's really high praise for both of those tight ends.
Will Johnson, cornerback 2 at 18.
And he's really fallen down, but I think it's justifiable, unfortunately.
I don't know if it's fallen down. There's just some guys that have risen up. He's still very respected.
I mean, if you go back up just a little tiny bit, right? He has Jihad Campbell ranked as his 14th overall prospect. Yeah. That is mind-blowing. Shamar Stewart at 9. Again, another mind-blower, but...
Another mind-blower?
Want to get into that.
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into all of that. Michigan, Kenneth Grant here, number 25. And that's your top 4 guys you're talking about from Michigan.
And Miss, I haven't had a chance to set things up. It's not the end of the world. I appreciate that, though.
Karl was busy today. Karl, did you see this? My beautiful new graphic? We got a beautiful new graphic. I finally separated it into rounds. Same thing I did last year. I separated these into rounds, and now these are the ones confirmed. I did take Mason Taylor out of there because it sounds like his was an individual visit before his pro day. But a lot of people say Tyler Warren wasn't a top 30 visit, but there is confirmed source that there is top 30 visit from Tyler Warren. So on your left side, you got Ashton Genty, Shamar Stewart, new one today, Will Campbell, Tyler Warren, all in the first round. Hold on. I know you're going to get your opinion. I love your opinion, Karl. Trade down or second round, Josh Connerly and Jonah Savania. Top 30 visits. You got third round, Anthony Belton, new one today. NC State offensive tackle, Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle, Tennessee. Jalen Lane, new one. Wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. Isaiah Bond, wide receiver out of Texas. There's more wide receivers on this list than I expected there to be. Early day 3, Kyle Williams, wide receiver out of Wazoo. Dylan Fairchild, offensive lineman out of Georgia. And then you get into the 5th round prospects. You got Nick Martin, linebacker out of Oklahoma State. Rashard Smith, running back out of SMU. Late 7th to undrafted free agent range. You got John Williams, Addison West, and Bo Collins, all local prospects that don't count against the top 30. And then Dante Fleming, wide receiver out of Tulane. All right, Karl, which one shocks you the most?
I mean, let's just hit it hard and heavy. The Shamar Stewart news is almost downright depressing. A lot of people in chat are corroborating the story, if you will. I mean, he would be a total waste of a pick at 10. There's questions from guys like Nate Tice if he even knows how to play football, which I think are very, very valid when you look at the production compared to the sample size. Not to say that production is everything, right? I'm not saying that, your value as a pass rusher is based on sacks alone. But the definition of insanity, Adam, is doing the same thing over and over and hoping that it changes without doing anything different. And if Shamar Stewart at the college level cannot finish, cannot tackle, cannot get the sacks, that's never going to change the NFL. And you're going to spend the 10th overall pick on that? I don't know, man.
So why are people looking at him as a top prospect? It's not just, you got Dane Brugler here. You got consensus. In fact, we'll just go to this page. So, Karl, I'm putting you on the spot. Did you see this video I did yesterday?
Yeah, and I told you I fell asleep while watching it. Not to say that was disrespectful, but quite the opposite. It's normally it means it's engaging content.
Whatever, Karl. I asked Karl. I said, check this out before we go in because I want to do stuff with this. And I said, Karl, do you have a chance to watch this? My defensive tackle one for yesterday. I went over all the prospects, and then I went where Dane Brugler had them. You can see the overall ranking. Karl's a dick, and he fell asleep to my stuff.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man.
All right. Well, Karl, I'm going to make a video out of this one, so we're not going to go through my detailed breakdown, but I want to get your reaction. This is what I didn't want to show you. I was teasing Karl all day today and yesterday. Something very interesting. So I did the same thing yesterday with defensive tackles. I did so here's the defensive tackles one again. Here is the prospects the Bears have, we'll say gave them attention. We'll say the Bears are at the high school dance and they're flirting with the girls there and they're giving some of them attention. They've given the overall defensive tackle 1, 3, 4, 8, 15, 18, and 23 some attention. All of them will fall in different range. You can see in the brown part, Mason Graham, 4th overall prospect, Kenneth Grant, 25th overall, Walter Nolan, 31st overall. Maybe they're hoping one of them will fall to the 2nd round. Maybe they'll trade back and select one of them. Who knows? And then a third-round prospect, Alfred Collins, fourth-round prospect, and Omar Norman Law, Chimery Caldwell, fourth-round prospect, Riley Mills, fifth round.
Not to interject, you made that exact same
I know.
error yesterday. That's amazing. Whenever you made the video, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I still haven't fixed it. It's Jamari Caldwell. Sometimes I get things stuck in my head, like Jervon Dexter. If you remember last year, I kept saying Gervon over and over, and I couldn't fix it forever.
Do you know what really helped me with that today, Adam?
Well, I'm
I
over it now.
listened to Von Dexter pronounce his name himself today. All I needed was one time, and now I think it's going to stick, hopefully. So,
all right. So I got to get your reaction here, Carl. I got to get your reaction. So I'm going to do this. This video is coming out tomorrow, so I'm not going to spoil everything from it. But, in fact, I need to take this off screen so I can find the spot in it. Let's see here. I'm going to give the full, here we go. Add to stage. Boom. What shocks your knickers here? Here's the defensive ends the Bears have paid attention to. Jalen Walker, they met extensively at his pro day. So there wasn't a combine visit, wasn't a top 30, but they spent individual time with him, and even rumors are that they took him out to dinner. So they're very interested in Jalen Walker. Shamar Stewart, they've had a combine visit, a top 30 visit. Mike Green, they've had a combine visit. Michael Williams, they've had a combine visit. James Pierce, they've had a combine visit. This is interesting to me. This is very telling. No other defensive ends.
No, I mean, yeah, you're looking at guys who are essentially all viable options at pick 10. So it's something that they're very heavily considering, as they should, because it's a premier position. And regardless of what the Beast thinks or what anyone else thinks, my gut's telling me that this is a top-heavy edge class that isn't as deep as you'd want it to be. You might get lucky and be able to snag, maybe not one of these guys, but a guy at pick either 39 or 41. But you do have to give a long, hard look at pick 10, because in a perfect world, what happens here is we use pick 10 in 2025 to draft the replacement for Montez Sweat. Once Montez Sweat's contract runs up, you start to pay this kid, and you just reinvest in that cycle, right? Get another edge rusher to pair with the guy that we get from 2025, so on and so forth. So a lot of talent here, obviously. I already said my piece on Shamar Stewart. I honestly think that Mike Green would probably end up a better football player than Shamar Stewart, and I would be okay with Mike Green at 10 if I'm being quite honest with you. It's just the off-the-field stuff is terrifying.
So take the emotional out of the Shamar Stewart pick, all right? We agree on that. The freak nature of him as an athlete does not match the production. That's scary. We agree there. But look at this list. Defensive end 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. None of them are prospects that reach down to, according to Dane Brugler in his ranking, none of them reach down to number 39. So we're looking between what the Bears are looking at defensive tackle and defensive end. We're looking defensive line with our first pick. That's what this screams to me.
Well, you've only got edge. It's not actually edge. It's defensive end. I get the technicality, but it's positional value, and I think that goes into Dane Brugler's on the Beasts ranking here too, right? So is it out of the realm of possibility that James Pierce falls to pick 39? No. It's not likely, in my opinion, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
But you take the cluster grouping, and they're looking at that first pick. Everyone's making all these, everyone's got an opinion, but running back and tight end, and there's different tea leaves, and they can do whatever they want on draft night. That's true. But you look at the only ones, other positions, tackle, they're looking at tackles in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, seventh round, undrafted free agent. There's been multiple tackles. They looked at all of them. Guards, first round, second round, fifth round. I haven't seen any undrafted free agent guard yet, but you're looking at multiple there. Running backs, you're looking at a first rounder. You're looking at second rounders. You're looking at a fifth rounder. You're looking at undrafted free agents. Tight ends, you're looking at first rounders. You're looking at third rounders. You're looking at second rounders. You're looking at fifth rounders with Gunnar Helm. You're looking at multiple options there. Safeties, you're looking at multiple options round 3 and round 5. Defensive end, they haven't looked at anything outside of this top. This makes me think the Bears are really zeroing in on picking an edge. Whether we like Shamar Stewart or not, that's not the point right now. They're zeroing in on wanting an edge, like you said, possibly to replace Montez Sweat, maybe rotational, rotate in with Dio Odengbo and Austin Booker and Montez Sweat, whatever it is. We've said that's a need on here. They want to get pressure. It looks like the Bears really want a top end edge in this class.
It also goes to, in my thought process here, chat's bringing up the beautiful name that is Landon Jackson, right? I think Landon Jackson's maybe a bit too rich for pick 10, but if he's there at 39 or 41, they might not need a 30 visit to say the talent jumps out, fits the mold of Dennis Allen's, prototypical defensive end. They might not need a defense or a 30 visit. But the 30 visit for a top 10 pick should be the focus because that's a huge investment. So when you're talking to these, traits over production type guys with Shamar Stewart and the off the field potential issues with James Pierce and Mike Green, that's a really worthwhile top 30 visit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we don't know all the top 30. They're keeping a really hush-hush this year. So there could be some top 30 visits that are done that we just don't know about. I mean, it's just only certain ones come out later. And I realize this is really small, guys. I do apologize for it. There's not much I can do to make it much bigger. It is what it is, and probably shouldn't be sharing.
This helped. There's got to be a button. What's up with that arrow next to the gear at the top right? Is that the fit button?
That's the full screen that I did before. That's the one I already did.
So what about do you see the plus and minus symbol in the middle? Just to the right of that, there's arrows touching the side of the screen.
That's just zooming.
Hit the arrow. Yeah, that's helping. But the arrow, no, just to the right of that.
Then we can't see too many.
Yeah, that's perfect. I know you can't see too many, but you can actually see what's on the screen.
So here's where Dane Brugler has them ranked. Some of them look a little out of position to me. I haven't been as high as most of you guys on Mike Green. Big reason, small hands, short arms, small school, big production, small school. Worries me a little bit, but I understand the upside and the take of taking him. Totally get it. And if you want to take a flyer on someone, take it on someone that has production, that your hope can duplicate that production in the NFL, not someone like Shamar Stewart. You and I agree that production's just not there. It's just not. It's missing. So it's
even outside of the scope of sack production. Like the guy just misses all these tackles. I'm gonna trust other people more than myself on this, right? If I have people who essentially this is their job saying that he does not know how to play football, I'm taking that into serious consideration. I made a tweet. I jokingly said that picking Shamar Stewart before pick 100 is going to get someone fired. I think you got to wait it to the very earliest, the second. If you take this guy at 10, that's a terrible, terrible mistake.
Yeah, I'm worried about it too. Who knows if it's a mistake till after it's done. I mean, you still see people criticizing Rome Odunze a year later when he freaking led the league as a rookie in contested catches. It's beyond me. I made my post on Twitter when whoever it was, Schefter or Rappaport, whoever announced that one. Shortly after that, I retweeted it. And I just said, look, I don't like this pick, but I would be excited to see what Dennis Allen does with 6'5", 267 pounds with that fast of a get off. I'd be excited to see what he does. It just scares me. Just what you're saying. It scares me that, you're taking that with your 10th overall pick. If it's a pick 39, pick 41, feel way better about it. 100% better about it. You're taking a gamble on a high upside athletic freak. But taking that at 10 really worries me, just like you're saying. Just it's a risk. So, all right. So here's
Squeegee, if I may. How does Shamar Stewart remind you of Cameron Jordan? I mean, Cameron Jordan is just a really good football player, and he's tenacious, right? I think that Shamar Stewart, he relies on his physical traits, get off the line of scrimmage fast. But if it doesn't work perfectly, immediately, he folds like a house of cards. The guy's trash.
I'd be careful calling him trash.
Guy's trash. I'm sorry.
All right, so this is the other cool thing, though. Some of these players that pop out, Mykel Williams, a lot of people said, well, where does he really fall? He's got him right between, first and second rounder. Donovan Iziraku from Boston College, first, second round in-betweener. Jordan Birch, who I've been preaching pretty high because of his balanced nature, gets a lot of pressure as well. Everyone's saying, no, the mock drafts databases say he's in the third round. He could be a fourth rounder. Dane Brugler's got him all the way up in the second round, top 10 defensive end between Landon Jackson and Jack Sawyer. And if you're used to your mock draft databases, they weren't anywhere in the same range. Those guys weren't. Another interesting one, Oluwafemi Oladejo from UCLA. A lot of people weren't high on him. It's interesting to see him ranked 13th. Princely Uman and my boy, he's got him ranked all the way down at 14th.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to bring up. Was I did a mock draft with Dan last Thursday, and we used the site that you suggested, and I saw Princely starting to fall.
Yeah.
That seems very, very intriguing and downright exciting for the Bears to get a player of that caliber in the 3rd round. That'd
But I
be
don't
incredible.
know. I don't know if they will, and this is the reason. It's not sticking for some reason. You guys see where I'm trying to highlight there. 244. That's part of the reason everyone's got him falling, because he's 245 instead of 250, 255. But man, he's still got long arms and he's good sized. He's just one of those guys that isn't 260 pounds. And last year, this wouldn't even been a conversation. Last year, 245 to 255 was the norm. I mean, that's what everybody was. Now this year, we've got such big freaks like 279, 264, 283, 276, 285. Everyone's like, oh, look at all these guys. So you got here 3rd, 4th round, about 17 to 19 prospects in the first 3 rounds is what Dane Brugler saying. It goes right in hand with everybody, what they were saying about this being a very heavily loaded defensive end class.
Well, if you scroll up, I mean, you've got 12 guys who are bona fide 2nd round picks. Then we get into the weeds of 2nd to 3rd, 3rd, 4th. I think that it's a really top heavy class. So like I said, if the Bears don't go edge at 10, they've got to hope that one of these kids falls to them at 39 or 41, or they might just be bone dry at that point.
Yeah. And the ones the Bears are looking at have all been right here, 2 to 7. They're looking at top end prospects here. So they're pretty high on edge. That's what I'm deducing from this.
What I'm saying is, let's say that someone views Michael Williams better than Shamar Stewart.
Sure.
Shamar Stewart, instead of being a top 10 pick, slides.
Happens every year.
Probably with an athletic freak like that, he's not going to get past Howie Roseman, or if Howie Roseman makes a pick, Howie Roseman will trade up to acquire him. But there is a chance, depending on the draft boards, a kid like that, there's no chance he makes it out of the top 10. He could fall to 39, no problem. So the more we're talking about this, I see what they're going for, and maybe I'm just talking myself into this, but I hope to God that Shamar Stewart is not, in the crosshairs for pick 10. I hope it's more of a pick 39, pick 41 situation.
Yeah, and who knows who else they're going to meet with, but just what we're going off so far, this is what they've met with. You could be right. They could be saying, maybe we do love, let's go down to the bottom here. This is where the top 100 is. Maybe they're looking here and they do like several of these prospects. Sorry for the quick scroll, everyone. But maybe they like Ashton Genty and Mason Graham. We know they like Mason Graham from what they said. We know they like Ashton Genty from the way they've followed him and been a part of almost everything except his individual pro day. They weren't really there for that. Will Campbell, they've been high on. Tyler Warren. So a lot of these guys, they could be saying, well, we hope one of these guys fall. And if that happens, they can pick up a Tyler Warren, and then they can fall. What you're saying is someone would slip down here to 39, and the Bears could snag him at 39.
Now, here's where Dane Brugler starts to lose a little bit of credibility. He's got Ronald McDonald, Arizona's wide receiver, at 12th overall. It's too high. It's way too high.
But everybody's got Ronald McDonald 12th overall, man.
Right, and someone's going to pick him 12th or 11th, hopefully not 10th. And he's
such an athletic freak. You're going for that. What they're doing is they're hoping they can catch Megatron in a bottle, and they're hoping they can duplicate it. But it's kind of you're reaching at that point, in my opinion.
Looks like Tarzan plays like Jane, man. He wants to be compared to the guy on the Falcons. I can't think of the kid from USC, but I think that would be his absolute ceiling, and I doubt he ever reaches that. So.
But Carl, all you see on Twitter and all you see are the highlights. You don't see all the others.
No, Adam. That's called film. That's called film. I'm just kidding.
So here's the fun thing to dissect. You look at the top 100. He's got 17 edges in the top 100.
And he's got the other QB2 at 34. I'm just seeing as well. That is lovely stuff. So maybe Dane's getting the credibility back. Shout out to him. But
agreed. Mason Taylor there at 33. But look at these other positions. Linebacker 4. There's 4 linebackers in the top 100, 6 safeties, 9 running backs, and this is a running back heavy class, and we got 9 while we have 17 edges. So that just showed you how strong the edge
and you
position
want to
is.
flame me? I see RB4 at pick 46. I laid out the scenario on Twitter. I hate to keep parroting my Twitter tweets, but I mean, there's going to be a run on these kids, and it's going to be a little bit unprecedented in my opinion.
No, I'll bet you money on this one. You're so stuck on this idea that it could be a run. All these teams aren't just going to magically pick running backs just because they need one in the second round. They'll wait till the second, third round to pick them up. They won't
Sure.
force. That's like saying the Bears have to force taking O'Marion Hampton
What I'm saying
because they need a
is,
running back.
If you're looking at ideally the only running back drafted in the first round is Ashton Genty, but if Genty goes 6 or if Genty goes 12,
Well, I'll bet you'll see a couple because the end of the first round is the appropriate place, and this is I'm not changing.
Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to get into here. Right. So you go Genty at 12, then
but the talent has
Steelers,
to match where they would rank. So you look at this with Brugler as well, and you see running back 4 all the way there at 46. These teams aren't going to take at the top of the second running back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 just because they have to.
You're not letting me finish.
Go ahead.
If you go Genty at 12, Hampton to the Steelers, and someone either takes a running back in that end of the first round or trades up for the guy that they want, now you're an NFL franchise going to bed. I don't know how much sleep you're going to get between Thursday and Friday, but you're going to bed and you're saying, well, golly, I was banking on Hampton being there when I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to trade up to get the guy that I want. Or the teams ahead of the Bears, at least, in the start of day 2, all those guys, essentially all those teams could use running backs. We're going to see it. I promise you.
Carl, you're banking on these teams getting desperate because running back 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't change that running back 4, 5, 6 shouldn't go till the second, third round. They're not going to overdraft a player just because they went sooner than they should have. It's not going to happen.
Power 5, Adam. Genty, Hampton.
There's way more than 5.
Judkins, Henderson, and on the pinky, Caleb Johnson. Once those dry up, there's going to be
no way.
Drought.
There's way more depth in this class. I guarantee there's teams that are going to be excited about
you're right.
RJ Harvey and Devin Neal and Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah, those are end of day 2, start of day 3 guys.
So why are people going to force going to the second round for those picks when they can take them
not
in the
those
third, fourth
players.
round?
Not those players.
Bro,
it's
you're not going to have
5.
this. You're not going to have this run on these running backs that all of a sudden makes 7 running backs gone in the top of the second round because teams overdrafted for a positional player that they can take later on. It's a running back position. We're acting like this is quarterback. I can understand your position if we're in next year's 2026 quarterback class. Sorry, 2026 quarterback class, and these quarterbacks start falling off the board, and there's these amazing quarterbacks that are franchise-changing quarterbacks. Then you make that run. Then these teams will be going after these quarterbacks earlier than they should have. But we're talking about the freaking running back position, man.
We saw it with the wide receivers. We saw it with the wide receivers.
Wide receivers are way more valuable than running backs. They're 10 times more valuable than running backs. They spread the field.
When there's such a big disparity between running back 5 and 6, once the dries up,
there's not the big disparity.
That is where we disagree.
That's where everyone's going to disagree on this. This class is so loaded. You got in the top 100, you still have 9 running backs. You're acting like all of a sudden after these top 5 are gone, nobody's going to want RJ Harvey or Devin Neal or
RJ Harvey is not a lead running back number 1 who you can hang your hat on. That's a guy who you bring in as a rotational back. Probably he's a round 4 prospect, right? I know he's ranked very highly according to this, but I don't see RJ Harvey being a guy that you trade up for and draft in the end of round 2 because you think he's that good. He's going to go end of round 3, start of round 4. And before him are the big guys that you can essentially run your offense through.
I would disagree that many of these aren't even the same way. I mean, you can run your offense through Bashul Tutton. You can run your offense through Cam Scadaboo. You can run it through DJ Giddens.
No, Bashul Tutton didn't even run the offense in college.
What type of offense are you going to run with Quinshaw Judkins? What are you going to run your offense as?
Quinshaw Judkins is essentially the exact carbon copy of David Montgomery with a little bit more upside, in my opinion. That's a really good running back.
So are you going to have him run your 3-down offense in the NFL? Or are you going to have him rotate?
Ideally, you'd have Quinshaw Judkins at his peak running like 60% of your carries. Ideally, it's lower than that. Keep him fresh.
60%. I got you.
2 running backs.
Okay. Almost all these guys are going to be in 2 running back sets. You're going to rotate all of them. After Ashton Genty, you're not going to have many that are not going to rotate. Ashton Genty's probably going to have the wheels come off of him in Las Vegas. They're going to run him to the ground in his first contract, and he's going to be a dead running back after his first contract because he runs 30 times a game because they have no quarterback. That's where Ashton Genty should go, is to a team that doesn't have a quarterback, that has to base their whole offense on a running back, just like he was used in college.
That sounds like Oakland, by the way.
It's the same freaking thing. Vegas, Oakland, they've run the same way. It's the same freaking organization acting the same way there and here, and just what it is.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a team that doesn't have a quarterback. That's Las Vegas. I don't care if they just traded and extended Geno.
Well, yeah. So you've got Ashton Genty that's going to be that one. Other than that, none of these guys are going to be that. They're going to rotate with running backs. Whoever the Bears pick, DeAndre Swift is not all of a sudden going to not take any snaps. He's going to take 15, 20 snaps a game. 30, 35, 40% of the snaps still. He's still going to be taking those zone schemes, going to take some passes out of the back. He's going to be valuable in this offense still.
If he's utilized better, you're not wrong. But if we're relying on Swift to be running back number 1 and help elevate our offense and keep our offense multidimensional, that's just not going to happen. They're going to shut him down. He's going to look like trash. They're going to give Rojo his goal line carries, and you're going to rely on your young quarterback throwing the ball 40, 45 times a game. And that's terrible. That's a recipe for failure.
Why?
Because that's not how you run an NFL offense. I mean, obviously, if you have the best offensive line in Detroit and you have a terrible quarterback standing there like a statue, he can get away with it.
Hey, to be fair, they made
around.
Jared Goff look really above average. I'm not going to say
hell yeah,
phenomenal,
they did,
but they made him look above average.
There's multiple reasons why.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you right now, but from that, your whole offense is not going to change completely just because you took a running back high in the second round. If one of these teams doesn't get in on Ashton Genty or Omarion Hampton or Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, look, I agree. Look, after that 5, look at Dane Brugler. After those 5, he's got a way different order than everybody else does too. Like everybody, that's what you're saying is those 5 are the consistent.
I've been talking about the Power 5s since the second month, since
everyone
February.
has. Everyone agrees those first 5 are the most valuable 5 running backs in this class, right? I think that's the point you're getting to. So there's the 5 right up here. Those top 5, those 5 are the most valuable ones. But if a team, what I'm saying is if a team doesn't get one of those, say the Bears don't get them at 39, look at what they're doing already. They're making contingency plans. They're not going to trade up and force a running back position, give up valuable draft capital to come up and get a running back to make this run on running backs just because those 5 might be gone. They're going ahead and looking at Brashard Smith or some of these other running backs later. Maybe we'll just take a pick later and we'll make it. It's not a forced issue where you have to trade up, give up valuable capital for the running back position is what I'm saying here to you.
I'm not saying we should trade up either. And in a perfect world, you trade down to the teens and you find a way to acquire Hampton and Kenneth Grant. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm still not okay with the running back in the teens. Like, there's so many other valuable needs. Defensive tackle, defensive end. The Bears are already showing that right now. To me, if one of these 5 falls in your lap at 39, fantastic. Ideally, Quinshon Judkins. I think everybody's kind of realizing that's the right fit.
Yes.
That's the right fit to go along with DeAndre Swift. And then next year, you can either, if it works great for DeAndre Swift, great. We got him for 1 more year on his contract. If not, we can cut him. We can pick up Jeremiah Love or, it spaced me. I know you know his name, the Penn State kid that stayed 1 more year that could have come out.
What position, I'm sorry?
Running back. Penn State
geez. Yeah, I don't know his name, but he's good.
It's going to kill me. Someone in the chat's going to say it. I know you're going to say it. Someone in the chat's going to say it anyways.
Nick Singleton.
Good job. That was a quick Google. So if it doesn't work out with Swift, then you could, but if that doesn't happen, what I'm saying for the Bears is this is not critical. This is not like panic mode. Everybody, the whole fan base has got so freaking hyped up about one kid this year, about Ashton Genty, which is part of why I went on my opposite rampage against it. That they lose sight of it. Everyone loses their mind. Like, right? This is the whole, what's that from Batman, Dark Knight? Everyone loses their mind. Like, you've lost focus of the point that this is a supplemental position. This is a a position that's meant to assist the offense, to make it easier for the quarterback to do his job. It's not meant to take over the quarterback's job. So if we don't get one,
that's exactly right. And Roshan Johnson, Ian Wheeler, Travis Homer, those guys do not make Caleb.
We don't know
Williams'
with Ian
job
Wheeler yet.
easier.
Ian Wheeler looked freaking phenomenal before he got injured last year. So we have no clue with Ian Wheeler. So I get it. Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, yeah, more special teamers. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean that's my point. I mean, you do need to find a guy that's going to help make the job of the quarterback easier. I think a guy like Omarion Hampton, a guy like Quinshon Judkins, they could have a similar impact on the Chicago Bears that Matt Forte did. Not the same style, not the same production, but I don't know how to say. Those guys would make the job of the quarterback easier, and that's what my goal is. I think the Bears have the most talented quarterback they have ever had. So mission number one should be, by any means possible, do not let that talent go to waste.
This is an interesting point by Cliff. Do the Eagles make the Super Bowl without Saquon?
Probably not. If they can single in and get that a one-dimensional throwing game from Jalen Hurts, I mean, obviously they got to a Super Bowl without Saquon before, but they lost it. So.
Okay, and remember, the Eagles didn't draft Saquon either. It's a lot easier to sign a free agent running back that you think is a superstar than to nobody knows which one of these guys. Ashton Genty could be Saquon Barkley. He could be. He's probably not going to be there at 10 anyways. Ashton Genty could also be Leonard Fournette. He could be LaDainian Tomlinson. He could be DJ or DK J.K. Dobbins. He could be, I'm not saying the exact same play. I'm saying he could be anywhere in between. Nobody knows today if Ashton Genty is going to be the best running back in the league. It's easy to say he would. Caleb Johnson could be. Jordan James could be. Bajul Tutton could be. All right, Levante Rogers. $2 super chat. Gotta mention that right here. Appreciate you doing that, Levante. We have 2 weeks till the draft. Be happy. No one's. I hope this isn't coming off wrong. Like Carl, do you think Carl and I aren't arguing? Like we're not having a fight on YouTube.
I'm letting Adam do his thing. This is enjoyable. So no, not at all.
We're not fighting. Like don't think we're not happy. Like Carl and I have been very excited for this episode to share part of the beast and share some of our thoughts and ideas with you guys. So don't take us wrong with how we're
filtering in through the chat. Juan Perez regarding, did Barkley save the Giants? Did CMC save the Panthers? You can't save a team with a terrible quarterback. That's why getting a competent and downright good running back makes sense for the Bears, because they have a good quarterback.
Okay, I'm gonna let you read this one, Carl.
The Eagles can replace Saquon with Ali Gordon. They're the same exact player, except Gordon has a higher ceiling. Technically, might not be wrong, but I'm not sure about that, Sam.
I freaking love you, Sam. Ollie Gordon, right there, 14th overall, fourth round prospect. Led all of college football, not this last year, but the year before. We love your comments, Sam. Love your super chat. Appreciate you doing that. You're awesome. Lighthearted, makes it fun for us. But all right, so let's say this scenario falls into our laps, Carl. I just want to hear your take on this. So according to Dane Brugler, there is, after Quinshon Judkins, you get Dylan Sampson, who I did not have as a second, third round grade. That's where he has him. So let's say this happens. Let's say this run happens. Okay, this is where this conversation started with me and you. Ashton Genty goes. Let's say he goes to the Raiders. Let's say Omarion Hampton goes earlier than expected, and the Cowboys go ahead and take Omarion Hampton.
That's the beginning of the end. But go ahead, continue.
Let's say Caleb Johnson goes to the let's say he goes to the Broncos. Great. And then some of these teams wait till the second round. Then all of a sudden, some of these teams up high, like the Patriots, they say, well, we really need a running back. We're going to take Travion Henderson. And then right after that, let's say the Panthers right before us take Quinshon Judkins. All right, 5 running backs off the board. Gone. You're the Bears. What do you do?
I mean, that's the doomsday scenario, man. A guy like Dylan Sampson, Bashul Tutton, while they may be good players, they're not a complement to Swift whatsoever. They're an upgrade to Swift, but that's not what the Bears need. So you might be able to get away with hoping a guy like Jordan James, I guess Cam Scadaboo, your favorite guy, if these guys fall to the third or the fourth, and you need to acquire a player like that, then sure, by all means. It's
Wait.
not optimal or ideal in any sense, though.
Who? Skit,
Yeah.
scat, skittle, doot,
Yeah,
skit,
Cameron Stopgap. I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
Skit, scat, skittle, dit, flip, flop.
Skit Scat Stopgap.
I accidentally hit my mute button. Skit, scat, skittle, dit, flip, flop, flee. Everybody heading to the coconut tree.
Oh my god.
I want Scataboo so bad. He is David Montgomery. He is Josh Jacobs. He's the perfect complement for DeAndre Swift this year. And then go get Jordan or Jeremiah
He's a more
Love.
passionate Roshan Johnson before the NFL concussions, and God knows how many actual concussions Cameron Stopgap has already received. I don't mean to poo-poo on you here, but if you're looking at taking a guy like Cam Scatpack at the 39th overall pick, I got an issue with that.
Are you racist against white running backs? Is that the problem here, Carl?
I mean, I made a comment about how in that video you showed twice, I believe, how Roma Dunze has dreads.
They're not dreads, they're braids.
A cracker. I know they're called twists, Adam. I'm learning. Okay, so
we got to show it again. Hold on. Those who don't know, the Bears posted that on social media today. They are. I'm excited to see all this stuff of them in their work. Makes me want to get back and work out. I clearly need it. What'd you say during the middle of that there, Carl?
All the screen time for TJ Edwards. Guy's gonna have a C on his chest, man. I'm sorry. First one, last one.
You learned from last week.
Freaking love TJ Edwards. So.
TJ Edwards, the other one who keeps getting all the screen time, I noticed too. Drew Dahlman. They are in love with Drew Dahlman. They love the fact that they signed Drew Dahlman.
That contract is like spread evenly, and it's a long contract for an offensive lineman. He's here to stay, man, and that's exactly what they needed. I don't know if we're talking about that enough, right? You've got a center and a quarterback who are going to be paired together through the rookie contract. Afterwards, all bets are off, right? Because hopefully in an ideal world, you have to pay Caleb Williams $80, $90 million a year over 10 years. But
I'm with you.
Grease.
I think that's a big part of it. That's why they paired him up with Caleb for the rookie contract. They wanted to see those two
and to
together.
get the value out of that center, you need to run outside zone. So you need a running back who can excel in outside zone between the tackles, not around, not this toss crack stuff.
Between the tackles is more gap. I understand zones. So I don't know if a lot of people understand that basic. I think they do. Sometimes we assume. So I mean, if I'm sounding like I'm dummying things down, I'm really sorry.
Let's take me to school, Adam. Say just talking to me. Be disrespectful
not taking
to
you
me.
to school. It's
no,
so for outside zone running backs, what they're doing, you're basically targeting the defensive end. That's what you're doing. So when you hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift, his job is to read that defensive end and read how it's being blocked with Darnell Wright and with Braxton Jones. So you're reading how the defensive end, because the defensive end is the most unpredictable on that defensive line of what they're going to do. You know what your defensive tackles are going to do for the most part. You get some stunts now and then between the defensive end and the defensive tackle. They're going to do some weird things every once in a while, but it's for the most part pretty predictable what your defensive tackles are going to do. Your defensive ends are the more unpredictable ones. They're going to go outside sometimes. They're going to stunt, or they're going to hand fight and go inside sometimes. So when you hand it off on an outside zone scheme, you're handing it to DeAndre Swift. His job is to then read that defensive end and either take the hole, break in, and that's what they talked about with, was it Ben Johnson or was it Eric Bieniemy? I think it was Bieniemy. Said sometimes he's just got to learn to hit that hole and go for 4.5 yards. Was that Bieniemy? I'm pretty sure that was Bieniemy that said that.
Well, whatever the case is, that's an antonym for DeAndre Swift's game.
Sure, it's been his issue this last year, and you can blame it on whatever it is. It's not, well, no, last year, the year before this year, one of his best years, he was used 75% outside zone. The Bears used him over 50% this last year in inside gap, which means you're not handing the ball off for him to read
because
the outside zone.
Because they didn't have another competent running back on the roster to do that.
Okay, so to help him with that, we go get a skittle-boo. We get a skittle-dop. We get a stopgap, as you call him. Scataboo would be perfect at that, and he bowls anyways. So I'm ahead. So would Caleb Johnson. So would Quinshad Judkins.
Round 3 is a bit rich. Do the Bears have? The Bears don't have a 4th round pick anymore, do they?
No, we have no 4th round pick, but we could trade down and acquire one. I mean, it's really easy with 39-41 to trade back just a little bit and get a 4th rounder. That's a really easy thing to do. You could trade from 41 to 46 and get a 4th rounder.
I don't know. I feel like this roster would very much greatly appreciate picks 10, 39, and 41 being starters. And I think it's possible.
But if they do want to acquire and they've got a couple there, they could. Anyways, so for your outside zone read, DeAndre Swift's job is to read that defensive end, then either take the hole, go for 4.5, 5 yards up the middle there, take the hole between the guard and the tackle and go for it, or break it outside and go for 20 yards if you see the seam there on the sideline and you feel like you can take a huge gain. Problem was, it seemed like DeAndre Swift every single time had predetermined when he had the opportunity not to run gap, because when they ran gap, they handed the ball to him. You just run forward, you're shoving it up the defensive tackles, trying to pound for 4 or 5 yards. That's what you're doing. But when he had the opportunity to run outside zone less than 50% of the time, he always kicked it outside, which he's got that burst. That's his strength. He's got that burst of speed where he can just take off and get around people. But the problem was when they knew he was running, defenses knew he was going to do that every time. They knew he wouldn't go inside. So I don't know what you're doing.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. He's too predictable.
Yeah, so we're in agreement. So we need someone to help bridge that. We need some help. We're in agreement. We need help. We need help. So we're gonna pick a running back. Where it's gonna go, nobody knows. So I'm with you there, though. If we lose out on one of those top 5, it does get harder, but I don't think we're dead in the water. I mean, there's good options. They're good prospects. Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, Cam Scattaboo, Bashal Tutton. It's not like we have bad options. We're going to add someone. And I do think Ian Wheeler is highly regarded by this front office. They've mentioned him. They've said that he was doing really well before he got injured. Well, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does.
The front office, yes, but this is a brand new coaching staff, that being the offensive play caller, which is the head coach, Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, but Ben Johnson is mentioned.
Those guys
Ian
think
Wheeler.
About post-ACL injury Ian Wheeler. That's
they've
what
mentioned
I think
him.
is very, very important. Right? They're going to hype up everyone. Remember how I said that it's kind of a bad thing to talk negatively about these prospects before they're drafted? That's coming from a guy who's got, as Twitter says, a nobody, less than 500 subs, whatever the case is, right? Can't say anything negative, especially about the guys on your team. You're trying to fester in confidence, all that good stuff, right? I think while you may not be dead in the water, it's very close to that. But there is a silver lining, that being that Eric Bieniemy hopefully, should be, probably is the best running back coach in the entire NFL. So, if you're going to be stuck, pigeonholed into taking Sam earmuffs, if you're forced to take an Ollie Gordon, a Damian Martinez, not RJ Harvey, I actually like the guy, a Jordan James in the 4th round, and that's your, essentially your running back you're counting on for 40% of your snaps. I keep seeing the guy in chat talking about Cleo Mullings as well. I'm the Michigan fan, and I've got no faith in Mullings. The cool thing about Cleo Mullings is that he's a former linebacker. So if you talk about a guy who's going to be RB3, RB4, and be a practice squad, special teams contributor, Khalil Mullings is going to have a fantastic career. But do you know what that sounds a lot like? Roschon Johnson. We've already got that on the roster.
Man, Roschon, I don't think a lot of people realize Roschon Johnson in college, his breakaway yards, his elusiveness grades, like he was freaking phenomenal. And the Bears have just they're ruining his career. they're Justin Fieldsing him. They're screwing over Roschon Johnson. Now his injury didn't help either, but Roschon Johnson is not a fullback. Roschon Johnson is not.
He should be. Let me tell you.
No,
if Roschon Johnson embraced it, he could be a CJ Ham, a team captain.
Roschon Johnson has so much potential to be such a. He's not going to be your quick guy that's going to run away from everybody. He could very easily pull a David Montgomery type of role in Chicago. He could be more than what the Bears are using him for.
I think you're really devaluing David Montgomery, because Montgomery, while he may not have the top end breakaway speed, Montgomery has breakaway speed. Roschon Johnson does not.
Montgomery is Cam Scattaboo.
No. Montgomery's probably a top 15 back in the NFL. I disagree with that.
They're the exact same player. Cam Scattaboo, David Montgomery, their size, everything, speed, play style, everything. They're the
Reese
exact
Reed
same
asks, why is Donovan Edwards so low? It's because after the national champion 2023 season, where he was the best change of pace back in the NCAA, he fell off a cliff, man. He dropped the football and pass catching opportunities. He had a really bad year, man. I still think there's a lot of untapped potential. If that's a guy who, God forbid, he goes undrafted, Bears should definitely bring him in and see what they could get out of him. I would be hopeful that he's a guy that's going to get drafted by his former coach and Los Angeles if it comes to that. But I think the Chargers already have a guy like that. I can't think of the name, but he's good at picking up those types of players. So we'll see. He'll be fine.
There's a player you guys need to keep your eyes on. Carl, I mentioned this guy to you. We know he was
There's
the
your
Bears.
Ian Wheeler competition. Maybe not the exact same archetype, but
Not even close to the same type of player, but he was at the Bears local pro day. I knew that was going to happen before he was there. I knew it. I knew it. Is this where I get to have a little bit of fun with that? Shh, Carl. Shh. So Ontario Brown, Northern Illinois, first projected free agent, 31st overall. That could be a Bears undrafted free agent. That'd be a lot of fun to see happen. This is what breaks my heart. You already know this. All the way down here. Get scat, scoodle doot, flip flop flea. Everybody
Adam, if
running
you hit
to the
Control
coconut
and
tree.
F, it allows you to find, and it might go faster for you.
Yeah, you can do that up here with this too, but I'm old school, Carl. All right, let's.
I got a question for you, Adam, and this is
Uh-oh.
courtesy of the chat, Charlie C. He says, "What's better than a beer?"
Everything's better than a beer.
He says, "A vodka drink."
Dun dun dun. Where did he go? Right here. 126th ranked running back. This breaks my freaking heart. Look at this. I think Dane Brugler didn't even look at him. Look, one of these things is not like the other. Look at these 40 times right here. Look at all these guys that are way down here at these 40 times. 4, 5, 7, blah, 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 blah. You get down here to Kylan James. Put up the exact same type of stats as Ashton Genty, just at a fourth of the snaps. The dude's getting disrespected. Kylan James is being disrespected like crazy. Drives me. Look at all these. One of these things is not like the rest. One of those things right there is not like the rest. 5'11", 226 pounds.
Adam, you're clearly looking at the Jag category. Just another guy.
Shh. Don't go breaking my heart, Carl. Don't go break my heart.
Breaky heart.
All right, Carl. Name. We were gonna do more defensive ends here and focus on the top of the draft. Of the Bears are looking at that. Give me a defensive end you want to look at, Dame, because we can't show everything on this whole thing. We can't give it away to everyone for free, but we can have a little fun with it. Name a defensive end you want to look at here, and we'll show what the
not a
beast
tackle,
usually
a
looks
defensive
like.
end.
Yeah, defensive end today, because that's what
I would love to see. I guess the actual true write up on Mike Green, because
Mike Green. That's a fun one. Yeah, let's do it.
This is where the value of the beast comes from. Anyone could use Grok or AI or a simple Google search to look up your arm length, your 40 time, all that jazz, right? Obviously, it's conveniently placed in one document, which is fantastic in and of it itself. But the actual write-ups here, that's the bread and butter
Phenomenal.
of the beast. This is special stuff. So
Take me a minute to get there.
You talk about ethics, not showing a document that's behind a paywall. I think we're paying homage to Dane Brugler by actually sharing it with everyone.
Sure, we're not showing the whole
it's
freaking
beautiful,
thing.
fantastic stuff.
We're just
and
giving an
it actually is
example
probably
of what the
going
beast
to
does.
inspire people to buy it.
All right, so
even
here's
though you
our
don't have
edge
to.
rushers. And you can see Mike Green is the 4th ranked one, which is higher than I had him, but still edge of the first round. So I agree with it. And but they've got him at 10. So they're saying he's 10th ranked overall prospect. We'll go down here and show you guys. Let me make sure this looks good. Let's take us down to this one. I think it
Much
looks
better.
a little better that way. Let's get down here. And this is what the beast looks like. This is part of what we wanted to do today. So Mike Green here. You can see here, Marshall, 4-year junior. That's what this means over here. Williamsburg, Virginia is his hometown. Lafayette High School. Birthday, July 28, 2020 or 2003. Age, just under 22 years old. 6'3", 251 pounds, which I think sometimes he looks like he was smaller. So I think that's actually a decent weight for him. Background: Mike Green, the youngest of 5 children. This is what the beast gives you. I mean, it's really detailed. Was born in Newport News area of Virginia, and his mother, Michelle, an in-home nurse. He also has a close relationship with his uncle, Sean Jones. When he was young, the family relocated to Williamsburg, Virginia, where Green started playing sports and developed a love for football. His brother, EJ, who is 2 years older, played football at Lafayette High School before attending junior college and later walking on and eventually earning scholarship as a linebacker at Old Dominion from 2021 to 2024. Green enrolled at Lafayette, where he was a 3-year varsity letterman. He started out on the JV squad before moving up to varsity as a sophomore, playing both ways as a wide receiver, tight end, and linebacker. That's interesting. As a junior, Green collected 70 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks in a stand-up linebacker role, while helping Lafayette to a 10-2 finish in the 2019 Class 3 state playoffs. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, his senior season was postponed until the spring of 2021. Playmaker is both a pass catcher and a pass rusher. He helped Lafayette go undefeated with a 9-0 record, including a win in the state championship. Green also joined the wrestling team and won. All right, I already like him more. Didn't know that. These guys that have a wrestling background, I love them. Green also joined the wrestling team and won several area and regional tournaments. He finished second in the state championships as a sophomore in 185 pounds and finished third in a junior in the 220-pound division. Had a jump there from his sophomore to junior year of gaining weight. 3-star recruit, Green was the 109th ranked wide receiver in the 2021 recruiting class. Really? That's interesting. And number 15 recruit in Virginia. He received his first. So we're gonna line him up in wide receiver too. This sounds great. He received his first Division I offer after his junior season from Boston College, January 2020. Over the next few months, Green added offers from Appalachian State, East Carolina, Kansas State, Kent State, Old Dominion, Pittsburgh, Temple, UMass, Virginia Tech, and Western Kentucky, plus his first SEC offers from Kentucky and Ole Miss. He also received recruiting attention as a wrestler, including an offer from King University. So he wasn't just a wrestler, he was a good wrestler. But he connected with the coaches and culture at Virginia and committed in April of 2020. Green signed as a defensive player and was the 7th-ranked recruit in the former head coach Bronco Mendenhall's final class at Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall was the coach for a long time at BYU. He was suspended entering his second season to September 2022 because of a sexual. Here's where you're talking about the character concerns.
Yeah, the really bad stuff.
Yeah, because of sexual assault allegation and left the program. Charlottesville police suspended investigation into the alleged incident. Green denied the allegation at his combine press conference. Green entered the transfer portal. And I do have to say, I respect him for getting up there and answering. Some people would just avoided that completely. They wouldn't have gone up there and answered. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I have no idea. I have no inside knowledge on this situation, but I do respect that he got up there and at least addressed it. Green entered the transfer portal in December 2022 and joined Marshall in the spring of 2023. Following 2023 season, he turned down several lucrative NIL offers to stay at Marshall. Green opted out of Marshall's 2024 bowl game and accepted his invite into the Senior Bowl.
So again, a little bit of a Mong take here, but surface value wasn't good enough at a good school, had to go to a bad school, but was very, very good at said bad school against bad competition.
Yeah, not all of it was bad competition, but yeah,
I preface by saying it's a bit of a MONG take.
Yep, so. I got you. I think everybody understands and respects what you're saying about that too. The things I don't love is not just that he didn't get the good production until he was at the weaker school. The background is concerning. That history there of that, and you can take that two different ways. Hopefully, it was a shock value enough that he learned from whether he was in the right or wrong from that situation. He learned something from it. You hope these young kids do learn something from those situations. And then here, his hands and his arm size are really, really short. Those are very short. So he's going to be.
The thing for him though is that he's a speed rusher, right? So he doesn't need the physical prowess.
He's going to have to depend on that completely. His flex and his bend and out quicking guys.
You have a guy like Montez Sweat who is a large physical presence, who can handle the stronger physical option of the tackle. You can scheme up Mike Green to do some damage in a perfect world, right?
Yep. So they show his strengths and his weaknesses after that. Strengths displays athletic twitch and play violence to live in the backfield. Linear burst to get upfield and explosive lateral step to create its own rush lanes. Great feel for the cross chop move and balance at the top of the rush. Credits wrestling background for helping him play low leverage positions. I feel like that helped me a lot too, but obviously I was not the same level as these guys. But that's why I like that. I wrestled and I love that wrestling background because it does help.
Even if you're partial to it or not, right? Mason Graham, serious wrestling background.
Well,
that's what helps you kind of outside. I think that having a wrestling background really contributes to what you could maybe call the intangibles.
Well, it gives you more flexibility and bend, and I mean these guys are naturally going to have more athleticism.
Your hand placement and kind of that CQC, close quarters combat, like that's where that's really festered and like mastered. So that's a huge plus for a defensive or offensive lineman.
So here's the summary part at the end. You guys can read that strength and weaknesses if you want. I mean, come back and pause it.
No, I just want to see if Dane touched on any of the, I'll call it the terrible
Look at this. Yeah, look at this right here. I hadn't seen this one yet. So strong character feedback from coaches at Virginia and Marshall. Charles Huff says he's the most humble human being you will ever meet. Take it for what it is. It's interesting to see that
No,
stuff.
it's another one of those situations where essentially in a
Coaches are
lesser
gonna say whatever.
program, your star player, any sort of allegations like that, oh my God, my player is going to the NFL.
Yeah,
You're gonna wipe that. You're gonna obliterate that any possible way that you can. But where's the truth?
Yep. And you don't know, and that's where you have
we
to bring them into a top 30 visit to get a feel for them, spend several
Yes.
hours with them, and
Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
that top 30 visit is so imperative for things like this. So I want to read that last bullet point above the summary. It says
Yeah.
NFL teams will put his background under the microscope, as they should. Suspended at the start of a second year at Virginia following the SA allegation, Green was not charged and case was suspended, not dismissed. Green has denied any wrongdoing, SA allegation while in high school, so there's a history there. Virginia requested he sign a zero tolerance policy, and he left the school. 10th overall, Adam, we are not the Eagles. We cannot afford to draft convicts because if it blows up on us, we are screwed.
But
If the
Carl,
Eagles-
look at what
if-
we did this offseason. We're in a position to be the Eagles now.
Holy smokes, Mr. No, look at your chat. Mr. Shorty's
Oh.
making it rain.
Shorty.
Oh my God.
Adam, love your content and thank you for being a great friend of BCP. Always. Hey, you guys, those who don't know, we're the fluffer for BCP. BCP
That's
is going to be on
facts.
1 hour from right now.
That's facts.
So we're getting you warmed up. Head over to BCP when you're done. Saw in the description of the channel for Karl too. Those who haven't gone over to Karl's channel by now and subscribed and liked him, get in there, do it. Doesn't hurt you. Karl's a great guy. We love Karl.
Yeah,
we love
just
Shorty.
please don't follow me on Twitter. Fair warning.
So did you see I'm starting to separate on Twitter? I got a couple people saying your platform's too big for you to start to act like this. You need to, and you know what? I understand that I need to be authentic.
So
but
no offense to you, Adam, but
I am taking it to heart.
Your following on Twitter is not incredibly massive. It is good. It's great
No, it's not.
content. I love it. But I think that you should feel like you can act any way that you want. Now, we've talked about this privately, but the way that Nick Rohde runs Jay, just another year, Chicago, that's what I would follow to a T, man.
Rohde's the bomb. In fact, Rohde is going to be, I'm either going on Rohde's show next week or he's coming on mine. We're working on the details right now, but Nick and I are friends.
Manifest it. Now, if you guys are listening to my voice and you're following Adam Mason on Twitter, make sure you tweet at him and Jay Rohde. Get that snowball going. Force the issue.
It's already done, Karl. We're just trying to figure out the right day to do it. All right. So to finish this thing off,
invite him right now.
The summary. He's in Europe. He's on a work trip.
Oh, that's no excuse.
I know, right? So the summary. A 1-year starter at Marshall, Green was a stand-up edge rusher field side in defensive coordinator Jason Samore's 4-man front. After showing flashes on his 2023 tape, he emerged as an All-American defensive lineman in 2024, leading the Herd to a 10-win season and the Sun Belt champ. Listen to how a Sun Belt championship. It almost sounds like a Mountain West championship won by Ashton Genty. Good job. He finished the season ranked first in the FBS in sacks, 17 tackles by a defensive lineman, 84 in sack yardage, 144 for 42 yards more than number 2 on his list. A high-activity pass rusher, Green explodes off the ball to win in multiple ways, showing bend, speed, and the acceleration force to work through contact. Despite his lack of elite body length, his rush move arsenal expanded as the 2023 season progressed and learned how to be an effective against frequent chips by running backs and tight ends. He went into the 2024 season focused on developing against the run. That paid off in a major way as he showed an improved stack and shed and better overall gap awareness. Overall, Green is a twitchy athlete with the burst and body control to win on one-on-one as a pass rusher and a set of violent edge in the run game. As long as his character checks out, he is one of the top pass rush prospects in the draft class with a disruptive ability to be an NFL starter.
So God bless Dane Brugler for staying middle of the road. Facts are the facts, and
that's what it is, a factual.
But the fact, ironically, remains. There's a history, a paper trail, and he was forced away from the school where this started. And he went to Marshall, and Marshall helped him maybe become a better man. His coaching staff seems to love him, and maybe he has turned the leaf. But again, I just don't think the Chicago Bears are Howie Roseman-esque. They can't afford to do that just yet. I think that you can start to have these types of gambles once you have a quarterback and head coach pairing that have won a playoff game together. So next year, find your way to a guy like a Mike Green who's falling to you at pick, God, God willing, it's pick 32, but whatever the case is, right? Late 20s, early 30s. That's when you can start thinking about things like this, in my opinion. But I think it's just too risky right now for 2025.
This thing gives you so many deep backgrounds, though. So I'm going to go here real quick. I didn't even know this. So I don't know if you knew that Kyle Williams from Washington State transferred. Oh, now it's showing him. Go up. It's not what I was looking for. Search. Jeez.
Control left. You got to go next.
It just took me way out of range. It's got a whole search function up here. So I was on Kyle Williams. So right here, you got Kyle Williams, number 12. From Washington State. So I don't know if you knew this. I mentioned it on my other video when I was highlighting new top 30 visits. This is the top 30 visit now for the Bears. 4.40 speed. Really good prospect. He was at UNLV for 3 years. And then when we switched coaches, he entered the transfer portal, went to Wazoo. New coach brought in Ricky White, so it didn't kill us. We replaced one really good wide receiver with another really good wide receiver. So it was, but Kyle Williams, when you look at this is how detailed it is. I had no idea about this. We'll get there. Sorry, guys. Kyle Williams right here. It is so detailed on the backgrounds. Kyle Williams, one of 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, was born in Baltimore with his parents, Stephen and Aaron, before the family relocated to Southern California. Before making the switch to wide receiver, Williams played quarterback and trained at Clarkson. I actually knew this part. Quarterback club with Steve Clarkson, a longtime private coach for the NFL. His younger brother, Makai, played defensive back at Colorado State before transferring to Division II, Missouri Southern. Williams has a daughter who was born February 2018. So he's a dad. He became a dad at 15 years old, man. It's crazy to me.
Man, see, where else are you going to get that? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
And see what you can scrape off the internet. Like, this is amazing, incredible stuff from Dane Brugler, man.
He's so freaking in depth on everything. It gives you a full back. And he's not, like you said, he's not slandering, just like with Mike Green. He gave the facts. There were allegations. This is what happened. As long as he checks out, he's one of the top guys.
He presents the facts in the most logical, professional way, and then people ask his opinion on his media tour afterwards. Because he's been working on this thing for the last 360 days. I can guarantee you that.
This is what he does now. So he worked with CBS. He worked with NFL Network. Now this is all he does with New York Times. He works on this article. He's draft coverage. This is what he is with the Athletic, New York Times. This is his job. So.
It literally broke the website last night, and I'm almost yesterday morning. Yes, I'm almost certain that Dane Brugler, in a roundabout way, is probably responsible for at least 50% of the New York Times subscriptions. That's how serious it is. It's a fantastic, incredible piece of documentation and article. So if you guys are scoundrels like me, you can find a way to get it without paying. I would suggest you do. It's only $2 and it's worth it. I just have a different set of ideas that would lead me to not want to do that, but to each their own.
Mikey, are you and I going to have a chat now? I've already got after Karl today. UNLV is the center of college football. Thank you very much. Jeez.
Maybe
you're on this
in
channel.
Oakland. I don't know.
Hey, for once, we finally have some good prospects. I'm going to highlight them and show them, dang it.
You got a fantastic quarterback. I think that he could shine given the right opportunity.
Yeah, speaking of Virginia, he played at Virginia last year as a starter, and now he's going to come over here and should be fun to see what he does.
I was talking about the other Michigan man, but I'll give it to you. That's fine.
Oh, our backup quarterback now? Nobody cares about the backups.
I talk about Michigan quarterbacks. This Bryce Underwood kid, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, you guys, I know not everybody follows college football as much as us, but Karl, the 2028 draft class, I don't know all the quarterbacks yet, but I do know the Michigan quarterback is going to be, if he lives up to his potential.
Let's take it one step at a time. I want him to have a win at the big house for Michigan to start things off, and we'll talk about the draft later. But I went and watched a game. I sat my butt on my couch and watched a 36-year-old man throw the ball against Illinois. What are we doing? It's college.
You guys got the best quarterback prospect in this year's next upcoming class. You guys got him. So,
God bless you, Dave Portnoy, a man of the Michigan people.
All right, let's bring this back up here. Carl, anything else? Surprise? Did you see all the updated top 30s before we wrap this thing up? You got
You showed
45,
it.
50 minutes.
You did a great job. I mean, just look at the first round: running back, defensive line, offensive skill, all bases covered. It's a fantastic set of 30 visits, in my opinion. Pair that with all of the. So what's going on with those defensive ends? You said all those that the Bears are interested in. Are those essentially like you said, combine visits, 60 visits? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah,
They were.
combine visits. I mean, you have to take some of the combine visits to kind of see where they're gauging things. So they have 60 combine visits. We know of 40 of them. And then you've got essentially like 16 or 17 top 30 visits. So I'm combining the ones the Bears have shown genuine interest in. The combine's the first opportunity where they get to choose someone. They get 60 players to choose from and say, we want to spend 15, 20 minutes with you.
Yeah.
And that's what the combine visit is. Then from there, Shamar Stewart had a combine visit. Then from there, the Bears said, come on in here. So if you want to be worried about something, the fact that they took him for a combine visit and then said, we still want a top 30 with you.
And I've already explained my thought process on that. I'm honestly, at this point, I'm more happy about it after our talk now, as opposed to being worried about it. I will be terrified and I will be downright, distraught if they take him at 10. But if there's a guy who maybe has a chance to fall to 39 in a perfect scenario, that's the guy that you'd bank on those traits at 39, not 10.
I think someone's going to take him pretty high.
I think so too.
Sam L., if Ollie Gordon is taken by the Bears, I need you to come on immediately when that draft pick happens. I need you to get on the show and share with us your excitement and your enthusiasm for Ollie Gordon. Because if that happens, you have earned the right to be the biggest Ollie Gordon fan.
And
if
Sam,
the Bears take Ollie Gordon, I will buy you Sam L. and Ollie Gordon jersey. I promise you that. If the Bears take Ollie Gordon,
I'll help contribute to that as well, because there'd be no other person who I think would be more deserving of that. But Sam, the Bears Country podcast, is also going to be having a link in their description of their videos for all 3 of the draft days. Maybe not Thursday. I don't know about Friday either, if I'm being honest. But Saturday, day 3, which is presumably when Ollie Gordon would get drafted, feel free, pop in there for a couple minutes, say your piece, and get out of there. But I want to hear it.
They're bad-mouthing. He's bad-mouthing Ollie Gordon of the 3rd round. He won't go past 72. He won't go past 39. The Bears are taking him at 39, Carl. What are you bad-mouthing Ollie Gordon for?
Unbelievable. The slander.
I love you, Carl. You know it. All right, so Kyle Williams, you see at the bottom there, end of day, in the early day 3, Dylan Fairchild, offensive line. So what we were saying before, let's wrap this thing up in just a minute here, but I want to get back to the point. We always get off track here. You and I get a little off track on things, and that's okay. We love it. We have a good time. We yell at each other. Apparently, some people think we're fighting. We're not fighting.
Juan Perez, give it up. I'm sorry, buddy. Swift ran for 1,000 yards, but what's the average? Wasn't it 3.5 yards? 1K yards with the Eagles, with a better offensive line than the Eagles won a Super Bowl with. It's just an I'm sorry. It's a butt backwards argument.
All I'm going to say to that, Carl, is everyone agrees that last year was a crap show for the Bears. The offensive line, running game was bad.
I think that if you had, I'm not saying that the Bears, and obviously they did want to, according to Jared Payton, I think that's Walter Payton's son, he corroborated the story that the Bears actually had their claws. Imagine it was the claw machine, right? They went down and they grabbed Saquon Barkley, and they were going up, and then it slipped,
Saquon acknowledged as much that he said it. He said, I was this close to being a Chicago Bear. That's right. What he said.
And the difference was not a coin flip, but it was actually the fact that Saquon went to school at Penn State, presumably went and grew up rooting for the Eagles as a child.
Well, it sounds like the offers from Philly and us were similar, and he chose Philadelphia. All things being equal. He
went home.
Price being equal, he went home. What he was essentially saying was, if the Bears would have thrown a couple more million a year at me, I would have gone to Chicago. I mean, that's
let's say they did that. I don't know what the opportunity cost would be. Maybe you're not allowed to sign another veteran who ended up not panning out, regardless. But I think if you have a better running back, you keep that defense honest, and you don't have them just say, you know what, there's no shot that this guy busts through the line and runs a long run. We're going to attack Jake Curhan. We're going to attack Larry Borum and destroy your starlet quarterback. That's where when you become one-dimensional, it becomes a big issue really fast.
I don't
You
think
got to keep the
anybody's
defense honest.
I don't think anybody's like arguing that the Bears wouldn't have been better with Saquon Barkley, but you're talking about Saquon Barkley. I mean, best running back in the league. So that's kind of like nobody's going to compare to Saquon Barkley. But DeAndre Swift, I don't think anybody would also say, all things being equal, with Ben Johnson and this new offensive line, do you think, even if it's a limited amount, say he only runs 30% of the snaps, do you not think DeAndre Swift's production will be better with Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, and that offensive line?
It should be. I don't even know if it will be. It should be. But ideally, what they'll do is not focus on him receiving handoffs or tosses or running the football. You should have that awesome offense designed to have the exact same formation, look like the exact same play coming off the snap, have it be a play action, then throw it to Swift. Design a screen for Swift. Hell, do what Nagy did with Cohen, motion him out into the slot and have him run routes. He's a very talented and downright a threat as a receiving back.
Sure, and it sounds like Ben Johnson is already on that page, talking about making things look the same and look different.
Yeah, you need to do that.
A lot of different things he can do. So I think you're kind of skirting it because you don't believe in DeAndre Swift. In fact, you've gone as far as to say he's a trash running back. I think all things being considered, DeAndre Swift should be better under Ben Johnson's offense, under Eric Bieniemy as a coach for him. Should be better, right? Whether he's earning that last year of his contract.
If he's downgraded into that limited capacity, that change of pace role, he could shine in that role. But if he's put into the exact same role as last year, the lead back, the guy who has to be on the field 60, 70% of the time, it's not going to do much better than last year.
Ideally, he should be in. I mean, every running back is going to be multi-role function. You're not always going to have them out, in the slot. You're not always going to have them out running wide zone. You're not going to. Sometimes you're going to have to run them up the gut to keep defenses honest. Hopefully not very much with DeAndre Swift, but you're going to have to keep defensive honest. But if you've got him in a very specific role where you can scheme things up, I don't think anybody would disagree that the best thing DeAndre Swift does is he plants that foot, cuts the edge, and he has great burst going around the outside of the offensive line. If Ben Johnson can scheme something up with tight ends, misdirecting guys, getting things open in the middle of the field, he likes to run his offense tighter so that the wide receivers can draw people away from the play. So he draws that in tight, gets everyone going away from it. DeAndre Swift cuts an edge, even a little, we hate screen passes, but even a screen pass for him, that's where DeAndre Swift really excels the most. Even when I said that, one of the most exciting things I have for this next year is when Ben Johnson, it just comes to my head. Sorry, this is so like ADD squirrel type of situation. Thinking about someone getting the ball in his hand and running downfield. Do you remember when Ben Johnson talked about yak opportunities and DJ Moore? He's going to freaking utilize DJ Moore so much this year and get the ball in his hand and let him be a running back out there in the field, getting those yak yards.
I would hope that he's used he being DJ Moore is used in a similar role to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Because I think with the perfect scheme and the quarterback plays as good as I think he can, I think the public eye this year, after the 2025 season, if all goes well, you could have DJ Moore actually viewed higher than Amon-Ra in the public eye. That's how good DJ Moore is.
I don't disagree with you. It's kind of crazy how much this fan base is crapped on. They do it every year, though. They're doing it to Cole Kmet right now. They've done it to DJ Moore. They've done it to Braxton
seen people
Jones.
clamoring to just get rid of Cole Kmet. Trade him for a bag of peanuts. Not good enough. Draft Tyler Warren and cut Cole Kmet.
They go through it every cycle. It's just we don't know how to be happy with with certain players. So I don't think that's
cut you off.
No, real quick with the scrolls. I don't think that's a bad option. I don't think they should permanently put him in the slot, but I think it's good to run him out of the slot every once in a while with his ability to catch and run.
Like DJ Moore should be the slot wide receiver for the majority of the time in a 3 wide receiver set.
I
think he's that good, and I think that's exactly what you see with Amon-Ra St. Brown, is that deep dig from the slot. He doesn't have to run as far, but he can do it quickly, get into the middle of the field. He's a great wide receiver, man. That's how they need to utilize him, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they can utilize him out wide where nobody else is around, where they can get him one-on-one, and DJ Moore out wide one-on-one when you got those one-on-one opportunities, he can break ankles, he can run guys over. His yak ability is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he has, just like you said, I think he has potential to be better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just given opportunity and given the right coaching situation would be better.
Final capstone comment on the DeAndre Swift little shenanigans that we consistently rehash.
This totally doesn't fit the background. Like the defensive ends we've had a whole conversation and it hasn't fit one bit.
Just to capstone this right here, right? I loved how the Bears utilized Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen in the 2018 season. I think that you need to find your Jordan Howard.
And wasn't Jordan Howard such a great draft pick too, though? I mean, he wasn't. Where did he fall in that draft when we picked him up?
Probably fourth round, fifth round. I can't remember.
Yeah, he was a third or fourth round. He wasn't even projected to be one of the top. He was. I mean, I'm not going to say as far as him being Tampa Bay. What's the Tampa Bay last year?
He was a fifth round, Adam. 150th overall.
Yeah. I knew he was later. He was not projected to be an impact guy, and he really outplayed his. Even when he went to Philadelphia, he still continued to outplay his projection.
It's debatable. Another situation where they had an extremely good offensive line with a Hall of Fame center.
Then it went downhill, but he outplayed his draft position. Like Jordan Howard was a great draft.
I think it was maybe a bit of disrespect though, because I remember hearing a lot of noise just on Saturdays about Jordan Howard, how good of a player he was for Indiana, I believe. So
I don't remember where he played, but I do remember
it was Indiana.
Enjoying him in a Bears uniform.
But not necessarily you need to redraft Jordan Howard, right? Like that type of player. I like how they utilized Jordan Howard with Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen was on the same football field at the exact same time as Jordan Howard. Not to say that you need to use that because, we have a lot of talent at the skill position. I don't know if we are going to add to that. But that's a really good use case, in my opinion, is have Swift act like that. Because I think that's what Swift's game plan, it mimics Tariq Cohen in some ways.
Wow, I think this is just the way it is in Bears world right now anyways. This whole episode got off track and went to the running back position. That's just kind of where we are with this team. It's kind of the most exciting thing.
It's the lightning rod, man. It's the lightning rod.
It's the exciting thing for all the fans this off here.
And you unravel the onion.
All right, so just to wrap it up, we got to get you out of here for your other show. Just to bring this back up, this is I was going to have some fun with this. It keeps going to the next screen. All right, these defensive ends the Bears are interested in. Karl, which one most makes you feel I think we agree it's not Shamar Stewart. So which one of these five would make you feel like that?
We're talking specifically at 10th?
Yeah, or a trade down. I would hope we'd get a trade down if we're taking a defensive end. I do, but
I think that there's something special from one of these kids from Georgia. I just don't know who it is. I'm not too well versed on that.
Boy, that's a great comment. I think a lot of people are going to feel the same way as you, though. How do you choose between Mykel Williams and Jalen Walker?
Now,
two different.
I remember one of these kids having a very good game against Alabama, 3 sacks in the first quarter, the first half. If you're able to get off that type of production in such an insane, competitive football game in college, that's really what you want. You have to have those serious flashes. Not to poo-poo on Mike Green doing 17 sacks at Marshall. I don't care if he had a good game against Ohio State. I want the consistent top-end performer at the highest level. These kids from the SEC are no darn joke. So if they can conclude that the measurables for these kids out of Georgia matches the film and the character, if you're doing a top 30 visit with them, I'm all for it.
So there's your mix and match, though. Jalen Walker is going to have more of your pass rush, get to the pressure like Mike Green, but smaller, 6'1", 243. I mean, really small, really typically a linebacker, but they've put him as a defensive end. And Mykel Williams is the bigger. He's the Dennis Allen type of defensive end, 267 pounds, 6'5", big guy, but he has good tools in his arsenal. So he's not getting as much pressure as Jalen Walker. He's not getting your Mike Green production, but Yeah, I'd like to know
Can
which
can
one.
we use the beast to figure this out real quick? Because it's almost starting to feel like it's a Mandela effect. I
If you've
need to
got
know.
time, I know you got to get to
Pull up the
BCP.
beast and look at these edge rushers and see if in the summary somewhere, just skim it, which one had the 3-sack game against Alabama. Because if it's neither, I might have to admit myself into the psych ward.
So you're telling me that we're actually going to get to the actual focus of this episode and look at edges?
Unbelievable, Adam. Unbelievable.
All right, so
Yeah, start up
here's
top. Yeah.
Jalen Walker.
Just look for the word Alabama. Scroll down a bit. That third paragraph is
See,
where I'm
now you
looking.
got me looking at the beast though, and you got me excited about learning about these guys and seeing what's going on with them.
Gonna have to go a little bit further. Look at that. Walker announced a top 6 of Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, North Carolina, and Ohio State. This kid is the apple of the NCAA.
His production
Keep
look at those
going.
tackles, 60 tackles. Well, he was playing linebacker too. 60 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. This always worries me about these guys. Undersized. I don't see anything here. All right, let's go look at the other one.
I don't know. When I see the word hybrid, I think of a 3-4 defense. I just don't know if we'll be able to get the most out of him.
Do you just want to see which game was it you were saying?
I'm positive one of these two kids had a 3-sack game against Alabama. I want to know which one it was.
So Jalen Walker had a 3-sack game against Texas. He had 1 sack against Alabama, so it's got to be Michael Williams. Michael Williams. Edge. I'm looking right now. Sorry, it's not on your screen, guys, but it's right. He had no sacks against Alabama, so Michael Williams.
Mandela effect.
You're misremembering something.
No. I'm certain that it happened. It has to be.
Was it this year or last year?
Oh, you know what? Maybe it was Texas.
Texas, he had a big game.
If it was a primetime game on ESPN, I'm almost certain that it's.
Here, let's pull this up for everyone.
Because it was this year. Texas, a very good game. Was that the game where something crazy happened on the field where they returned a pick 6 and they threw it back and they threw water bottles on the screen?
I can't remember every detail. But here's the Texas game. This is Jalen Walker.
See how vivid I'm getting, though? I know what I'm talking about. I'm just not doing a good job of conveying it.
Carl, you're knowledgeable. I love it. So in that game, 7 total pressures, 3 sacks, 3 hurries. Really good game there against Texas.
At Texas. That's probably what it was. So who is this? Michael Williams?
This is Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker. Is he the guy who's more the undersized?
Yeah, he's the linebacker. And look at his role. So these 3 games, he lined up, outside linebacker. That's more of, you're standing, but you're blitzing. This is Will. So he's linebacker in all these ones. Mike in this game. So, I mean, he's more linebacker, and they're going to put his knuckles in the grass in the next level.
Yeah, if we were looking to add a guy to the 2019 defense after what we saw in 2018, and we're running that vaunted 3-4 defense, and maybe we find a way to retain the great defensive coordinator who just won a Super Bowl, cannot think of his name for the life of me right now, that would be just an incredible player to add. But adding it to a 4-3, I don't know if you can get that.
So Pierce, we'll look real quick. Just some of the questions you guys have in the comments. I don't remember how many. I don't think it was significant time Pierce missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He didn't miss any time. So he didn't end up missing any time. Maybe a game between 14 and 15. Maybe between 4 and 5, just depending on where the bye was for them. Some teams have 2 byes in college, so it doesn't look like he really missed any time. I do remember an injury. I don't remember how severe. 2 more weeks till the draft tonight. Right now, if the draft were on, we would be really close to knowing. 5:30 my time. That'd be. I mean, you're looking at 30 minutes into the draft. You're right close to that. Should be right close to that 10th overall pick. So we should know.
Man, that was coming against Calvin Banks as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kelvin Banks is way overrated. In fact, Dane Brugler.
I understand what you're saying, right? He's not a top 10 pick. If they take him at 10, I think it's a bit of a stretch. But to have that performance on the road against that offensive tackle, I think there's something special to Michael Williams, man.
Guard. That guard. Is it guard?
I'm talking about the college game, but okay.
You're right. I'm playing with you. So, all right, Carl, we got to get you out of here, buddy.
Sorry,
Any close?
I'm mesmerized. Yeah, closing thoughts. If you can get yourself a defensive end that's worth the cuts the mustard. Is that the term I'm looking for? At 10, do it. That's fine. We didn't really talk about defensive tackles, but the big three, the Fab Three. There's I read the two blurbs from the Michigan kids and from Walter Nolan that you've got two really good football players who are ascending. And then you have Walter Nolan, who started as a highly recruited prospect, went to Texas A&M in this crazy draft class or recruiting class that they had. He couldn't cut the mustard for Texas A&M. Went to the school that he's at now. I can't think of it for the life of me. And he is inconsistent. He wasn't necessarily trending up, and he's relying on his physical traits. So Walter Nolan at 10? No. Mason Graham at 10? Yes, God. Kenny Grant at 10? Absolutely. So if you got one of those guys, I would be very, very happy.
Yeah, let's look one more time at where they had just for you, buddy.
Mr. Levante Rogers. Yeah, I could have told you that he went to the same school as DK Metcalf. I just couldn't think of what Ole Miss was named, so thank you.
One more time here at the top 100.
I made someone very, very mad on Twitter, in my opinion, Adam. This phone is just, it has not stopped vibrating.
Do you have notifications on for Twitter?
I need to turn it off. I've got 100 likes on my post. I've got 400 likes. Wow, that's one of my most liked tweets ever. I quoted the Bears hype video and I said, "Dreads? ? It's over. ... Not dreads. You posting this? You good?" Oh my God! Hold on.
Carl, I don't even know if I can handle what's going on here. What did we miss? Come on, Carl, share with the crew.
I'm getting quote tweeted by Let Ryan Poles Eat.
Oh, that's so. All right, Carl, let's get you out of here. You only got 30 minutes until BCP. One more time. I don't know why that's my new favorite clip. All right, closing thoughts, Carl. Let's get you out of here. Get off your Twitter for a second. Focus.
No.
Carl, focus. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Every one of you guys, great part of the community. Appreciate all you guys being a part of this. I'm gonna hit you out of here with the short exit. Appreciate you guys being part of this. Hit the like button if you haven't done that. Go like Carl's channel if you. He's asking me to come back.
Throw up the screen until you can throw it out. Just hurry up, quick. You got it. It's for the culture. Twitter. It's for the culture. It's for. It's for the culture, man.
He's out of here. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, Dub Bears. See what you're making me do? You're making me pull you off screen.